Indiana has had a lot of success over the last 2 seasons. A lot of that is Curt Cignetti as a fantastic football coach, but their trench play has been phenomenal on both the offensive and defensive line. Left tackle Carter Smith is a player that has been very productive over the last 2 years for the Hoosiers and is generating some top 50 buzz for the 2026 NFL Draft. Today, we are going to be talking about Smith and where I think he should be taken in the 2026 NFL Draft. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a ton and lets me know you guys are enjoying the video and helps get this video out to more NFL Draft fans like yourselves. Comment down below which prospects you guys would like to see me talk about in a future prospect spotlight, and without further ado, let's get into it. Carter Smith was a 3-star recruit in the 2022 recruiting class. He entered the transfer portal in 2023 and took a couple of visits, one to Florida State, but he decided to withdraw from the portal and stayed with the Hoosiers. Over the last 2 years under Curt Cignetti, Smith has been one of the best offensive linemen in all of college football. In 2024, Carter Smith played in 830 snaps, allowing just 12 pressures and 2 sacks. And in 2025, so far, he has taken his game up to a whole new level. He's played 766 snaps for the Hoosiers and has allowed just 5 pressures and 0 sacks on the season. He's a very interesting player who made Dane Brugler's top 50, and he's been generating a lot of draft buzz in recent weeks. In pass protection, I think Carter Smith brings some very interesting upside to the table. For one thing, I think Smith has excellent hands for the offensive tackle position. He is very good at working defenders, countering their pass rush moves, and I think he can bring real pop and make defenders feel it when he gets his hands on them. I also think Smith has good explosiveness. He moves his feet really well in the pass game, and he has good recovery speed if he does get beat. He's very strong, and I would argue he has some of the best grip strength of any tackle in the class. He can physically dominate the rep if he can get proper hand placement, and he's got really strong upper body and strong hands. While he has been very productive over the last couple of seasons, I do think some of the numbers are a little misleading, and if you're just looking at the stats, I think you're going to view Smith as an elite pass protector, and I just don't see that on tape. He's a good pass protector, don't get me wrong, but I do see some deficiencies, and I think a lot of what Indiana's offense does helps disguise some of the issues that Smith has. For one thing, I think Smith has to improve his lower body strength. His anchor was very inconsistent, and when he went up against more powerful edge rushers, he had struggles and was pushed back into the pocket more than you'd want to see. Secondly, and what I would argue is Smith's biggest issue, is I don't think he has a very good outside hand. He consistently lost a step to his outside shoulder to quicker rushers, and he was forced to recover. I don't think that's going to work in the NFL where athletes are bigger, they're faster, and if you lose a step to your outside shoulder, you're always going to be playing catch up, and it was an issue that I noticed repeatedly on Smith's tape. Like I said, I think Indiana's offense really helps disguise some of the issues that Smith has. Over his career, Carter Smith has just 454 true pass sets. That's about a third of his overall pass blocking snaps, and on true pass sets, he has 27 pressures on those snaps, which account for a little over 2/3 of the pressures he's allowed at the college level. I worry about what that could look like for him in the pros, and while I think the hands and feet are good, there are still question marks that I have with Smith in pass protection. In the run game, I think Smith is pretty good. We mentioned the grip strength and power that he can play with, and that absolutely shows up in the run game. He's a really fluid mover. I think he's a good athlete, he has good movement skills, and he can be a nice lead blocker in the run game. If there is an issue that I could pinpoint in the run game is I do think Smith's balance is a little bit inconsistent. There were too many plays where it felt like Smith ended up on the ground, and while I do think he is an overall positive as a run blocker, and his athleticism makes him a pretty translatable player, I do think his balance is an area that could improve. On the size front, This is where my last issue lies. Carter Smith is 6'5", 313 pounds, which is a good overall frame for an offensive tackle, but I do worry about his arm length. Smith has short arms for a tackle, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if a team decides to move him into guard, because with his weaker outside hand and short arms, I think it could lead to a lot of issues in the league. He does have a pretty dense build that I think would work very well as a guard at the next level, and I definitely think that's something NFL teams should take into consideration, and I would probably move him to guard if I was an NFL general manager. Carter Smith is a player who I like some of the tools. I think he has really good hands for the offensive tackle position. I love how quick his feet are. I think he has overall great grip strength, but I am a little bit lower on him than the consensus because I do worry about that outside hand, and I do worry about the length. He's a good but not great pass protector, and I just don't really know if I could see him being a starting tackle at the next level. Carter Smith is my number 12 offensive tackle in the class and is just outside my top 100 prospects with an early 4th round grade. I'm just not sure that this is a guy that is going to be a starting tackle at the next level, and so I do come in a little bit lower on him than consensus. In terms of a scheme fit, we just talked about it, but I think Carter Smith is a guard at the next level. I think you can kick him inside because of his movement skills and his hands, and I think he can be a really good guard at the next level. He has the athleticism and ability to be a puller. He is a good lead blocker. I already think the hand countering is very good. I think that obviously you're eliminating that outside shoulder issue where I think he is going to be better on the interior. I think he would be an excellent fit in a wide zone attack as a guard at the NFL level. My player comparison for Carter Smith is a player Hoosiers fans I'm sure are very familiar with, in Indianapolis Colts right tackle Braden Smith. Smith was a bit of an outlier when coming out of Auburn. He had a very similar build that was kind of dense, shorter arms, was a good but not elite athlete, and was a guy that many people thought was going to be a guard at the next level. He's played tackle for the Colts and he's had a pretty nice career. He does still have his issues and does get beat to quickness to that outside shoulder, but he's a player that can play inside and out and can be a solid to good starter for you on the offensive line. That's ultimately how I view Carter Smith, and I could see him having a very similar career to what Braden Smith has been able to do for the Colts. Carter Smith has strong grip strength. He's great with his hands, he's got good footwork, but ultimately I think is a player that is better suited on the interior of the offensive line. He's a solid player, and ultimately I believe that Carter Smith will be a top 100 pick in the 2026 NFL Draft.